Good morning and welcome to the wonderful Keene Unitarian Universalist Church. I want to welcome you all here, whether you wear a knit cap or you wear a baseball cap, whether you wear a tiara or a beret, you are welcome here. So, up. You might wonder what my welcome's about. It's about welcoming, like welcoming my friend Mallory, who I've missed so much. Welcome, Mallory. Or welcome to our people who come and watch us from the internet. Welcome. So we hope that you find this place a welcoming and safe place to be, that no matter who you are welcome here. So I came here, I used to walk by this church to go to another place that shall not be named church, and decided I wanted to find a more welcoming place. I walked through the front door because I am the child of a minister, and so I've always come through the front door. I now come through the back door, totally different story for another day. And I felt very welcome, like Deb was my welcome person for the day. And she welcomed me and made me feel comfortable. And if you are new to the church, we have an awesome welcome ambassador of Gwen Powers who is here. So if you're new, find Gwen, or Gwen will find you and make you more than welcome. You are more than welcome just to not sit here and listen to all these wonderful things that are being said, but when church is over, you are welcome to go across the way and have a snack with us. They're really very good. Sometimes the bakers are awesome, and I saw fresh fruit, so fruit's always good for you. So I came to this because I was looking for a welcoming community. I was looking for a place that would accept me and all my eccentricities and kind of my little bit of drama, but I wanted you all to know that you are welcome no matter who you are in this church. And we mean it. We totally, honestly mean it. And if you are one of our distance people and you would love to come to our in-service and you can't get here, let us know, because we are welcome to drive and pick you up. If you're in California, probably not. But if you're locally, we would pick you up. So we are an open-minded community. We are justice-seeking people. We seek justice. If you seek justice with us. Please, if you are new to the community or you have missed us for a while, we have an awesome guest book. You are welcome to sign the guest book. As we know, everyone is welcome, especially our children. And if you are wearing a tiara, you are really welcome. Because, tiaras are awesome. But the only thing we really are not fans of is your cell phone. Because how many times have you been somewhere and a cell phone's gone off? So we welcome you to have a cell phone because it is a way we communicate. We welcome you to actually turn off your cell phone if it is on right now, because we love that. So thank you for this wonderful welcome and for being welcoming to me. I was going to sing, won't do that, but if you are a singer, we have an awesome choir and you are welcome to join the choir. You are welcome to dance if you need to. But I, at this moment, am going to welcome an awesome individual to come up and talk to you about stewardship. So I'd like to welcome David Tubner to the pulpit.
So anywho, recently I was meeting with the stewardship committee and discussing this year's campaign. I said it was quite funny to me that every year we see folks go up to the podium and tell us why they give. I said, I always say to myself, oh look, they've twisted another person's arm to go up. I thought, wouldn't it be more interesting to make this thing fun? Maybe have a sketch or something, or some heckling from the audience or something. That would wake us all up, I thought, but sit down, Lindsay, we won't be doing this today. Okay. So, today is my turn to talk about the church's appeal for us to give. Perhaps you've received the colorful brochure in the mail, a brochure I helped design, and the included appeal letter. I personally have a principle that I live by. If someone asks me for help, I will try to help. I remember one summer when I was in college and I was on the Cape evangelizing. Yes, I was an evangelical Christian during college. I saw a homeless man and I interpreted his needs, so I purchased a McDonald's burger and fries for him and handed it to him. He was befuddled at first, but then happily accepted my gift. And once, while in Boston for the day, a man in desperation asked me for some money so he could catch the train out of North Station. I handed him $20 and his eyes bugged out, and he immediately ran toward the ticket counter so he wouldn't miss the train. I've always been this way. I always give to those who ask. Today I'm no longer an evangelical Christian, but my principle of giving when opportunity shows itself still remains. As UUs, we see things differently perhaps than many other religious organizations. We are not waiting for the end of the world, and therefore we do not see the world as disposable or beyond saving. We are tree planters, so to speak, and the trees we plant today will be the shade for people we may never meet. This reminds me of a story I heard about a fundamentalist minister who was preaching the coming end of the world to his congregation. But the parishioners were relieved when they saw the minister planting apple trees in his orchard. We too are planting figurative trees for the future, trees that will provide shade and habitation for the birds, oxygen for the air, and stability for the soil. And by giving to our stewardship campaign, we all have an opportunity to share in this great endeavor. Please fill in your form and mail it in. Let's plant some trees for the future. Let us make our congregation as strong as it can be. And I believe the choir is going to sing, and I am part of the choir.
Thank you to the choir for setting the tone for this morning. Good morning. I'm Mickey Cronin. Welcome to our March Soul Matters small group ministry service. Our theme for this month is paying attention. The invitation to pay attention invites gratitude and love for all that surrounds us. However, paying attention also more acutely brings into focus life's pain. We will have opportunities this morning to share our experience in our small group ministry question, which is inspired by Mary Oliver's poem, Gratitude. When was the last time paying attention left you astonished? After today's service, you are invited to explore the work of photographer Becky Field on display in the Keene Multicultural Center. So please, during coffee hour, make sure to get downstairs. And a little later in our service this morning, Becky will share a little bit about herself and her work. So let's begin our service. Our opening words this morning are by the Reverend Bob Janice Dillon, minister of the Unitarian Society of Hartford. He writes, "Here within these walls, here in this community of love and justice, we pause in our busy lives to consider what is worthy of our deepest yearnings. In the time we are given here, may we pay attention to wonder of each moment. May we grieve what is lost, and may we be grateful for our life on this beautiful earth. And may we prepare ourselves for the work love calls us to do. Just as we are, may we be the beloved community." Our chalice this morning will be lit by Carol Mills. Let's say together the words that are in our order of service. We kindle this flame to remind ourselves of the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Please stand in body or spirit for a beloved hymn of hope and renewal, number 128 in our gray hymnal, All That Is Our Life. We invite anyone to come forward for our Time for All Ages. Our story this morning asks the question, can one good deed from an ordinary girl change the world? Now, I think we know the answer to that, but let's hear how it happened.
Come on up. Oliver. So while they're coming up, I'm Shelley Woodson, Religious Exploration Coordinator, and this is my friend Carol Mills, who's a teacher, and she's going to help by showing y'all the pictures to the book. You ready? It's a little long, so we have to see if we can maintain our attention. We shall try. Okay, so the name of the book is Ordinary Mary's Extraordinary Deed. I know, I need some stickies. Ordinary Mary was so very ordinary that you'd never guess she could change the world. This ordinary kid, she did. She changed the world. One ordinary day, skipping on her way from her ordinary school to her ordinary house, she passed an ordinary vacant lot filled with ordinary bushes growing ordinary blueberries, ordinary blue and juicy, luscious, lovely berries. What's she going to do? Well, Ordinary Mary picked the ordinary berries and brought them in a big brown bowl to Mrs. Bishop's porch. What? Left berries in a big brown bowl on Mrs. Bishop's porch? That sneaky kid, she did. This made Mrs. Bishop very, very happy. So she baked a big batch of blueberry muffins and thought of 5 people who might have brought those beautiful berries. She didn't know who brought them. Then secretly gave each a plate. How great, 5 people got a plate. One of those 5 was her paper boy, Billy Parker. And when Billy saw his name on a note in the driveway on a plate, he quickly parked his bike and ate every single crumb. Yum, 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 he ate every crumb. There he is. This made him so glad that the next 5 people got their papers on the porch and not in the bushes where he often threw them. That's messed up. In fact, they were handed right to them, like they're supposed to be, right? One of those 5 was Mr. Morey, who was so amazed that he smiled for 10 hours on the airplane. Then said to 5 different people who had heavy bags, "Here, let me help you." He still smiled, and they did too. One of those 5 was Mario, whose cranky little boy, James, stopped crying when Mr. Morey played peekaboo with him until his ride came. When he waved goodbye, Mario exclaimed, "How strange that a stranger would be so kind." And the next day, when he was out shopping, once, twice, 5 times, he did something nice for 5 different people, 5 times in a row without stopping. One of those 5 was Joseph, old and bent and gray, in front of him in line at the produce stand. "Well," he said, "I guess I counted wrong. I don't really need all these oranges." Little James reached out to him with an orange from their basket, and Mario put a coin in Joseph's hand and said, "Here, take this. The oranges are on us." As Joseph shuffled to the bus, his heart was full and his eyes were wet, and his hands did helpful things for the next 5 people he met. One of those 5 was Sahar, a college girl who was off to see the world and stopped at Joseph's shop. When her bag broke and her things fell all over the floor, she said, "Oh, what will I do?" "Joseph, this is for you." And he gave her a new bag woven with his own hands in red and purple and green. "Oh, thank you," she said. "It's the loveliest bag I've ever seen." When Sahar left, she felt sunny as noon, and she just had to shine on 5 people soon. One of those 5 was Sophia, whom she met on a boat. "Looking like the world might end, looking like someone without a friend." "What beautiful blue eyes you have," Sahar said, "and they're just the color of the flowers in your lovely dress." "Yes," said Sophia. "Oh, yes," said Sahar. The beautiful blue eyes shed a happy tear, and when the boat trip was through, Sophia called 5 people to make them happy too. One of those 5 was Tom, her son the doctor, who was having a very hard day. "Hi," she said. "I love you, Tom." "Well, how great to hear your voice," he sighed. "I always need my mom." Dr. Tom was so cheered up by that, on his next break, he bought a big bunch of bright balloons for 5 young patients, and he handed them out right then and right there. And there they are. One of those 5 was Peter, a little boy who went home from the hospital that very day. Gratitude for the big bunch of bright balloons filled him and thrilled him and spilled out of him and onto the next 5 people who came his way. One of those 5 was Eric, a teenage boy whose sacks and such were way too much. When one dropped on the sidewalk, Peter stopped his play and rushed right over, saying, "Super Wheels to the rescue." Well, Eric, no longer stressed, was very impressed and made a mental note that very afternoon to help 5 people and do it soon. One of those 5 was Di, his 10-year-old sister, who didn't have many friends and was painfully shy. When Eric said, "Hey sis, want to come to the park and learn how to ride my skateboard?" she looked at him wide-eyed. "Serious?" she cried. "Sure." And because of her brother, Di decided maybe she could be a friend to another 5 others. One of those 5 was Louise, a homeless woman who lived under the trees. She could hardly believe her ears when she heard Di say, "May my brother and I buy you a hot dog and a drink at that stand over there?" Could it be true? Someone actually cared? Cared enough to give her food and a smiley face ring that was practically new? Louise was so pleased that she decided that even though she had nothing, she would find 5 others and she would give them something. I wonder what she's going to do. One of those 5 was Amara, who lost her wallet in the park. Louise found it, full of 5s and 10s and 20s. But what could she do with all that money? But she found Amara's name and called her home, and over she came. She's going to give it back. Is that nice? Amara was so impressed that Louise was honest when money was something she clearly needed, that she offered her a job in her store and vowed to do something generous for 5 more people. One of those 5 was Kate, a woman on vacation who wanted to see a show she'd heard was a sensation. "Oh no," she said, "it's sold out. But I'm going home tomorrow," and her face filled with sorrow. Amara held out her ticket. "I live here," she said. "I can go anytime. Take mine." Kate loved the show and was so touched that she thought buying 5 presents for 5 people back home would be really fun. And one of those 5 presents was a little heart necklace for Mary, her niece, and you should have seen her eyes light up with surprise. Mary, what? Ordinary Mary? Remember, she was just ordinary. Yes, ordinary Mary's extraordinary deed had come full circle, and on its way it had changed the lives of every person living. You see, when Mrs. Bishop made muffins for Mary's blueberries, remember that? Not only the paper boy Billy Parker, but those other 4 people too made 5 people smile, and those 5 did too, and after a while, in only 16 days, love was sent to every person everywhere. And look how it went. Woo! See how that multiplied? Yeah. It's math. Well, 30 billion is way more than all the people on the planet. So after everyone had a share and everyone knew that somebody cared, there was even love left over. The world was changed, and thousands and millions and billions agreed it was all because one ordinary day, ordinary Mary did a perfectly ordinary, stunningly earth-shaking, totally extraordinary deed. Thanks for paying attention to that little bit long book. So you guys want to follow us? We'll go up to the RE room, and if you want to sing the kids out, that would be great. Parents, don't forget to come up to the RE room and join your kids after the service. After the service.
Now is the time for our offering. If you are joining us for the first time, please feel free to let the basket pass, as your presence here is a gift. Give to the church that has meant so much to you, for the church that has meant so much to those who came before you, and for the church that will mean so much to people you will never know. Give what you will, for you are a generous people. Let's say together our offertory dedication that's in our order of service. We dedicate these gifts in service of our mission to actively create compassionate community and work for a fair and peaceful world. Our meditation this morning comes from UU Minister, the Reverend Dr. Michelle Collins. Ground of all being, in this room and beyond it, we are learning to see each other. Not the quick assessments, not the categories, but the full, complicated truth of each and every life. Help us offer the gift of undivided presence, to listen without planning our reply, to make space for stories that take time to unfold, to ask who is missing from here and why. When we accompany those in pain, keep us from the tyranny of fixing. Teach us to stay while the crisis passes by, to show up in the unglamorous middle. May we become communities where every voice matters, where margins become centers, and where attention itself is love made visible. Let's take a moment in silence together.
Our reading this morning is the poem Gratitude by Mary Oliver. What did you notice? The dew snail, the low-flying sparrow, the bat on the wind in the dark. Big-chested geese in the V of sleekest performance. The soft toad patient in the hot sand. The sweet, hungry ants. The uproar of mice in the empty house. The tin music of the cricket's body. The blouse of the goldenrod. What did you hear? The thrush greeting the morning. The little bluebirds in their hot box. The salty talk of the wren. Then the deep cup of the hour of silence. What did you admire? The oaks letting down their dark and hairy fruit. The carrot rising in its elongated waist. The onion, sheet after sheet, curved inward to the pale green wand. At the end of summer, the brassy dust, the almost liquid beauty of the flowers. Then the ferns, scrawled black by the frost. What astonished you? The swallows making their dip and turn over the water. What would you like to see again? My dog, her energy and exuberance, her willingness, her language beyond all nimbleness of tongue, her recklessness, her loyalty, her sweetness, her sturdy legs, her curled black lip, her snap. What was most tender? Queen Anne's lace with its parsnip root, the everlasting in its bonnets of wool, the kinks and turns of the Tupelo's body, the tall blank banks of sand, the clam clamped down. What was most wonderful? The sea and its wide shoulders, the sea and its triangles, the sea lying back on its long athlete's spine. What did you think was happening? The green breast of the hummingbird, the eye of the pond, the wet face of the lily, the bright puckered knee of the broken oak, the red tulip of the fox's mouth, the upswing, the downpour, the frayed sleeve of the first snow. So the gods wake us from our sleep.
When was the last time paying attention left you astonished? Inspired by this poem, we invite you, we're going to be moving into our small groups. There are chairs on both sides of the sanctuary, and there's also, if you find that having conversation in a small group is too noisy in here, you're also invited to move to the parish hall if that's more comfortable for you. I also would like to invite, many of us have done this now for a few months. Once a month we do this. And if you would look around as you're forming your group, and if you see someone sitting alone, to please reach out to them and invite them. We have about 20 minutes this morning to share together. So I invite you now to move into groups of no more than 6, please. And let's begin our conversations with each other. And Donna will let us know when it's time to come back together. Please rise in body or spirit, and let's join in singing the spiritual number 348, Guide My Feet.
So I can pay attention.
As Gwen comes forward to extinguish our chalice this morning, let's say the words together in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with the world until we are together again. We return to the words of the Reverend Dr. Michelle Collins for our closing words, the art of truly noticing. As you leave this space made sacred by our presence, may you practice the art of truly noticing. Yourself with honesty, others with compassion, the world with clear eyes. Remember that attention is love made deliberate. So go with courage to look closely, to stay present, to let what you witness reshape you as well as the world. May it be so. I'd like to welcome photographer Becky Fields. Share a little bit about yourself and your work.
Good morning. Thank you so much for welcoming me at this beautiful church. This is the first time I've been here. In 2011 and 2012, there was hateful graffiti written on the sides of 4 refugee homes in Concord. Some of you may have heard about that in the news. It was a very terrible situation. The families were very scared and frightened by the words. And so at that time, I was just starting my certificate in photography at the New Hampshire Institute of Art. So I decided to use as my final project a photographic essay on welcoming and honoring our immigrant friends and neighbors. I thought I'd do it for a year and go back to photographing butterflies and dragonflies, but it didn't happen. I'm still doing this 14 years later. And the reason being that I have met such wonderful people. And these people have filled my life, and I have been able to share their stories and their beautiful images with all of our communities, all here in New Hampshire. This is an unusual project. It's called Different Roots, Common Dreams, with the idea that we all have different backgrounds, different cultural roots, and yet we all have the same dreams: to have a safe home, a good education for our children, and a way to earn a living and to practice our traditions. So now, 14 years later, I am still working on this, and there have been many little spin-offs on this project. And one of them was a partnership I did with the Manchester Historic Association, where they brought out their old photographs, black and white photographs, some really remarkable photography, back from the late 1800s, early 1900s. And we put together their black and white photographs with my color photographs of current and more recent immigrants. And this combination of immigrants from the past and from the current time shows how continuous this has been in our state here in New Hampshire. So the idea of the history of immigration in New Hampshire exhibit, which you can see part of downstairs at the Multicultural Center, is to show that continuum and to emphasize yet again that though we have different roots in a different time period, we all have the same dreams for a good life and a good protection and safety for our family. So I really hope you'll come down after you get a snack or two and come down to the Multicultural Center and take a look at the photographs. There's also, I'm very proud of this, an 8-foot timeline that shows when major cultural and ethnic groups came into New Hampshire. And that's kind of fun to look at and to see, maybe, you know, we all have some sort of immigrant background, unless we're Native Americans, and to see where maybe your families came in along that timeline. So thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful welcome, and I look forward to seeing you all downstairs. Thank you.
Life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the reel of far-off hymn that hails a new creation. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord.